Okay, so we're in Haida.
Yes.
We're in Haida Gwaii today.
Yes, in Queen Charlotte City.
So when we last left you, we were on the ferry. We arrived at about 11:30, and we made it into
The Enchanted
Forest
Guest House.
guest house.
So,
Is that it?
I don't know. Do you see 7-6? Yeah.
I do.
Okay.
706.
Then we've left a spot for us.
There we go.
You have now reached your destination.
So we got a bit of a late start, waking up the next morning, and but the next morning, I guess about 10 o'clock, we started out and we explored Prince Rupert, and we saw plenty of
Murals?
murals. And what was your favorite mural?
Oh, there were several whales. So if I said the whale murals, how would you know? But I love orcas, so that was my favorite.
And we also saw at City Hall, and there was a statue there of,
Charles Hay, or Hayes.
yeah, something like that. But anyway, he was the founder of Prince Rupert, and he had big development plans for Prince Rupert, but unfortunately, he took a ride on a ship called the Titanic and died in 1912. We're watching a raven, or a raven.
The raven's watching us.
The raven's watching us. So anyway, yeah, and he just.
They are tricksters after all.
They are tricksters. He just pooped on the. So a hotel and a whole bunch of development for Prince Rupert never happened, unfortunately, because this guy died. And then we went down to the waterfront.
And we went into this scuzzy, rundown building that turned out to be the Railway Museum. I had been told that it was there, and I just pulled open this creaky, half-rotted door. The raven just took off. And inside was this lovely museum of a restored train station that had been moved from how far? 40 kilometers away?
Yeah.
Barged down the river.
And basically developed as a railway museum.
Yes, so that was some local history, and
then we went for a walk along the waterfront, and unfortunately it started to rain. It does that a lot in Prince Rupert.
it does.
So then we decided, okay, we'll do some indoor stuff. So we did the museum. What is it?
Museum of Northern BC.
The Museum of Northern BC, and we saw lots of masks and. We saw weaving and bent wood boxes, and there were some very nicely made up coppers as well.
Yes.
And also there was settler stuff like typewriters and so forth, the old typewriters. And what was kind of frightening was some of the stuff we remembered from our childhood.
That's right. The typewriter being one. It was in my house anyway.
Yeah, and also a fold down ironing board. I remember one of those. Oh, we got an eagle.
That's okay. Eagles live here.
Yeah. So can you
He
just
wants
hold
to
off
have
for a
his
minute?
say too.
So then what did we do? We
After the museum, well, it was still
well,
raining.
While we were in the museum, we saw a whole bunch of beautiful artwork.
That's right.
Contemporary artwork. So,
Yes.
so there's stuff.
And a special mask.
Oh yes, and we saw two special masks. The first, there was the mask in the lobby, which was a really interesting sort of, well, I can't describe it, but it was
Okay,
good.
but you have a picture.
I've got pictures, yeah. And then we saw a mask by Bo Dick, which was actually in the gift shop, but it's part of the collection of the museum, and that was it. I don't know. It made me happy and sad at the same time. So it's hard to describe. I miss Bo Dick, but seeing his artwork in the museum there.
It does live on. He lives on.
He lives on,
Yes.
and he's become part of history. So and then what did we do after that?
Well, we went to Cowpuccino's.
Well, we went to Cowtown.
And we went to Cowtown.
And then we saw those two eagles on the tower there.
Yes. And then we went into the sunken gardens.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
were really lovely for gardens in the north.
That's right. And we saw the courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
an old church, and I think that was pretty much it for Prince Rupert, right? And so the next morning we got on the ferry again to come over here to Haida Gwaii. And we didn't have to get up quite as early.
No,
we had to
but
get up at 7 o'clock.
the ferry sailed at 10 in the morning and it arrived in Skidegate at 5 p.m. So it wasn't too bad. But once again, we were able to secure a cabin. And so...
But we still had trouble getting up in the morning, didn't we?
No, we didn't.
We did.
I was up first at 6:30.
But
Anyway, this is not important. The important thing is we were on the ferry and we had loads of time.
The ferry trip, though, the weather kind of changed on us, so it's looking like there's going to be a lot more rain in the forecast, and it was raining this morning in Prince Rupert. So it wasn't quite as scenic a trip this time.
No, in fact, it was windy, and so there were lots of waves, and the ferry, we were
Really?
expecting a rough sailing, so we took gravel, and that caused us to sleep through at least 3 hours of the sailing.
So between the fact that there was rain and we were just out in the open ocean, there really wasn't too much to see. We just went to our cabins and we slept pretty much the whole trip.
Yeah.
So we arrive here and as you can see, it's just
cloudy.
Well, it's cloudy, but it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Lots of wildlife.
Yeah, lots of wildlife. Yeah.
So that's it for this installment.
Stay tuned.